Hi, Davi here, and today we have a new episode in the art review series, and today we'll be checking out the work of... Let me just translate this. It's a mess, or MNND. So I found this guy, or this artist, via this post, and I mean, come on. I like the look. So it looks like they're using a pencil, like the pencil brush they're using for their line work is kind of, it has some opacity, but I think it has a little bit of texture too. But they also have some ink work. You can tell because it's way darker. For example, in the lips, it's definitely a lot darker. I'm not sure if it's just the pencil that's been overlaid plenty of times. But essentially, it's like a pencil look. And then some basic... They're not full flats because if you zoom in, there's actually a little bit of a variety in it. I'm guessing it's some kind of texture or maybe it's manually added in. But it's very subtle. It helps actually break up that flat kind of look a little bit. Like if you zoom in, you will see some spots where it's a bit more brown. Although to me it seems a little bit like sporadic, it's not consistent as much. I mean, you have some shadow parts over here, and it's kind of enveloped by this line thing. Yeah, and their style is pretty consistent all throughout. Now they do have a weird page because they post a lot of like GIFs or random photos. And I think most of the characters are from the anime or manga One Piece, you tell me. Let me just open a few more so we can like... I think this one's a drawing right here. There you go. Let's open that. And as well. Again, along with their artwork, a bunch of random photos, images. I'm guessing they're applying to something or... yeah, a lot of it is just fan art actually. And maybe they're doing their own comics, quick comics sometimes. But they seem so like playful and sporadic as well. Like there's no like structure. It feels like it's almost as if it's done in the moment. Maybe they've recently watched an episode or something, and that was their inspiration. It's kind of hard to tell. First of all, I don't watch One Piece. So many episodes, like 1,000 plus, fuck. But also, I don't read Korean. So let me just open a few more up. But you can tell, just by scrolling through their feed, the style is pretty consistent. It has like a warm tone to it, right, as well, in terms of the colors. But they're not too crazy. Like, most of it is like brown. Brown, warm, a bit of orange maybe. So it's sort of in that like space, or excuse me, realm. God, there's something in my throat. Let me just drink some water. Water. Some chibis here. I just like the looseness of the pencils. They're very... It feels like it's achievable to do, but obviously I think it would be hard for me to actually accomplish because their proportions are kind of legit. They look cool. Let me just open a few more so we can like fully dive in. And most of them are in this like comic-esque format. Maybe they're doing some kind of short story or something. Developing some kind of dialogue. And what's cool is they're able to display a lot of emotions, even if it's like this, like chibi, cute kind of characters or version of those characters. Interesting eyebrow. Oh, she's hot. Right? Look at the browns. It's not... I feel like it's some kind of watercolor texture too. And yeah, I think it's just like an overlaid texture. I don't think it's as purposeful. And I think it helps makes the flats look less kind of boring. And I think that's all you need. I mean, they have some shadows, but I don't think it's like it has any texture. I think most of the texture comes from this implanted. Oh wow. Wait, it reminds me a little bit of another artist. Let me just write her name down. Like Luna Doobles? Luna. Like the sketching style or drawing style. Doobles or Doobles? Doobles. So let me just open a few. There's so many cool sketches here to check out. Let me just go to their this one's kind of action-packed a bit. Well, it all seems so dynamic. Like the drawings are somewhat alive. Like they're not stagnant. They're not like design shots where you're seeing a character from the front, the back. There's usually some kind of energy in their work. And what's cool is they're all sketches. They're not like full things. They're sort of like random doodle sketches, compilations. I mean, look at this guy. Right? The range of expressions, pretty cool. Yeah, I'll stop here. Let me go back to the office worker. So maybe they work at an office, but they like sketching on the side. Who knows? By the way, I'm going to link this page in the description below. So let me just scroll through each one. Oh, look at this guy, right? The looser line work with this like pencil textured brush. I do see some textures in the brushes, in the shadows. You can see in the edges, it has a bit of a jitter. Or maybe the same brush they're using for sketching is the same brush they're using for coloring. Some seem more flat than others. Oh shit, maybe when they do add like the shadows, I think that's when they use some kind of textured brush. And all of it has a warm tone to it. Right? It's like a montage of different sketches. And they even draw like the bubble things. Right? The call outs and everything. Look at this guy. Yeah, some parts are black, but it's not ink. It almost looks like a dark pencil. Like it has that dry media sort of vibe to it. So I wouldn't call their work or consider their work inked. It looks like a very deep, dark pencil. Like what's going on here? It looked a bit different or odd. My bad. My brain is cooked. Right? Again, in this guy's like, take away the texture. It's just sort of a light brown. But I think this watercolor texture thing, again, I don't think it's intentional. I think it's just pasted in. And I think it helps. And then after like everything is done or drawn, they add like some kind of graded map or a warm color filter to make everything consistent. Maybe they are sketching everything in one page, or maybe they sketch things kind of randomly and then they try to compile it together. Who knows? So these ones, it's more like portraits, focused more on these guys smiling, having fun. Yeah, I only know this guy, the guy with the hat, the main character, I think, of the show. Oh, I do see some round brushes, or basic brushes. Again, they're not really, like very painterly, like super unique brushes. They're very basic, like round brush type. But what makes it sort of textured again is the watercolor texture, paper texture. I'm guessing they're using. And then the filter. Well, the filter doesn't really have texture, but yeah. So it's a watercolor paper texture. I'm assuming it's watercolor. And also the brush they're using for drawing and adding the shadows. In this case, I think the shadows are done with a basic brush, but the pencils are still, you know, for the line work, they're definitely more textured. Yeah, I like how they're able to capture the faces. So cool. And the likeness of the characters too. Now, if you're into One Piece, you're probably enjoying this more. It's an interesting looking show, but the amount of episodes, I won't be able to catch up. Even stuff like Hero Academia, like fuck me, there's just too many. And now they have like a new anime like Vigilante. Like, how will I catch up, guys? I mean, I can binge, but look at how like messy, well, not messy, but just really sketchy it is. And that's what people like about sketches, is you're able to retain a lot of the energy. If this was inked, I don't think it would have the same effect. Look at this mouth, it's so wide. And that's kind of the thing when drawing faces. You need to learn how to... give me a second. I am back. So I just got served dinner. Anyway, I was talking about how this guy is freaking awesome. And yeah, most of the work is One Piece. I think I was talking about the expressions. Yeah, like if you look at this guy over here, they seem to be a little more relaxed, right? And then compare that to this guy. I don't think they're the same person. Maybe. Well, fuck. Interesting. I see like leopard kind of patterns, but they have like wings as well. Very interesting. I just like the how we can go from like realistic or semi-realistic to something a little more crazy, like these drawings over here. These like chibi, well, they're not chibi, but they're very like miniature drawings of both of these characters, and then obviously this super exaggerated like mouth. I feel like you can convey emotions a lot more directly that way. So these guys definitely look kind of angry. And look at how those colors just work with the sketchy sort of lines, right? Maybe this is their first pass of line work. I don't think so. Maybe. Or maybe they're just that confident in their strokes. I just like the mix, how it's a bit like like, look at how sometimes the colors sort of go beyond the line work, or maybe they're kind of just below it. The point is, the edges are not always going to be matching, like the lines and the colors are not going to be matching or clean cut. And I think that helps with a more sketchy look. Now, focusing more on the lines, yes, they have texture, but I feel like they're not all too consistent. Some have a little more opacity, sure. And some lines are a little more thick, meaning they indent some areas, so they're adding just more strokes to it or increasing the pen pressure, well, of their pen. So there's that, but the point is the lines don't have, they're not boring. Even if you take away like the colors, I think it would still be an interesting looking sketch. But look at everything is pretty much like desaturated dark. And it does help make the fire things in the back or in their back kind of glow a little more, even though these oranges, they're also a bit desaturated, but because everything else is way more like gray or dark, it just helps pop these things, these like fire bits a bit more. Super cool. I think she's supposed to be like a dragon, just based on the horns, like dragon adjacent or something, or demon, who knows. Oh wow. I'm assuming it's a chick, but these days, who knows, right? Very cute. She's kind of blushing. I think they're of the same species because both of them have wings. Again, I'm guessing it's from the One Piece world. You tell me. But based on like the anatomy, like the facial proportions, it does look like it's of that world. In a kind of a big forehead actually, and the face is kind of constricted quite heavily in the bottom of the face. I like how they're going from like a cute drawing to an innocent drawing to a more like not realistic, but it feels a little more mature. Maybe it's the expression, who knows. But yeah, I like the eyes. By the way, I just ate chicken, barbecue chicken. It tastes pretty good. I can still kind of feel it in my mouth. You know, sometimes it gets a bit charcoaly in some parts, so you have like that extra crunch. It feels good. And there's like an oil, like grease, not like grease, but just that, you know, mixing the charcoal with the oily kind of vibe. And the rice was just plain white rice, because you don't need any other like stuff, because the chicken itself already has a lot of flavor, right? Anyway, oh wow. This guy over here reminds me a little bit of the guy from Fire Force, like the main character. Shinji, I believe the name is. Is it Shinji? Fuck, I'm forgetting. I think I'm mixing up names here. And the orange pants definitely remind me of the Fire Force guy. And yeah, they're pretty invested in this show to me, it seems. This specific artist. It's really just about these characters in certain predicaments, right? But they do have sort of a, I guess, a talent for storytelling. And I don't think they plan on doing like super heavy manga level, like inked with like the screen tones and everything. They just like doing sketches. And they're good. They're good. Right? And it's very consistent too. Well, I do see a little bit of like a watercolor edge effect, but it's drawn in. Yeah, some of these lines have a little bit of variety in terms of thickness as well. I don't see as many or as much hatching in their work. It's mostly just detailed stuff. And again, most of the textures, when they start painting like the skin, it comes from the shadows mainly. I think they're using a different brush for the shadows. You can even see it here a little bit. Cool tiger. Even the tigers, the furry people, the cat people, they seem to have like a solid amount of like facial emotion, right? Thank you. These two guys are. I'm guessing they're not friends or something. Enemies, frenemies. It looks so energetic, dynamic. Right? And they both look so freaking angry. Again, the face reminds me a lot of the guy, the Fire Force guy. I think it's Shinji. I think it is Shinji. But I also know the guy from Evangelion is also named Shinji, so I'm kind of confused. So here we have more chibis. You know, I've heard some advice that if you can draw a character, like if you want to learn how to draw people, learn how to draw the chibi form, or basically learn to cartoonize, caricaturize these subjects. So, because I think when you try to study things realistically, I think something just gets in the way. But if you force yourself to draw it as a cartoon, as a chibi, as a caricature, like you're forced to simplify things, and then you can like work your way into drawing stuff more realistically. Oh my god. So he's being bit by this sort of leopard thing. Freaky. Let's go further. Oh, again, it's that chick with like the firepower with the wings. I'm guessing they're brother and sister, or maybe they're from the same race, who knows. Again, that subtle paper texture, watercolor maybe, or some kind of cardboard, whatever. It's a good look. And I do suggest it, just looking at how cool it looks. It kind of completes it, right? So even if it's not inked, it just feels a little more fleshed out. Sorry, excuse me. By the way, someone mentioned that I burped, or sometimes the burping, or sometimes I burp in the videos. So my bad. It's not intentional. I do try to say excuse me, but I fail. I could edit it out, but I don't edit my videos anymore just because it takes too long to cut out those parts. So I don't really know why you would expect me to, because most of my videos are done, or they're posted scheduled to be every day or close to every day. So with that amount of work, I can't keep going back and forth to like recording something and then editing it. I mean, I do edit my videos, but it's mainly the audio, adding a bit of music, but it's pretty fast. That's kind of my system. And if you have like a fixed system, you're more likely to produce a lot more work. So when people make requests, I mean, I get it, as an audience, as a viewer, like you would like certain things. It's just on my end, I'm not gonna make that adjustment. I'll consider it, but I can only go so far. Because if it messes up my schedule, then I'm not gonna do it. I mean, look at this guy. Like, they have a set sort of style approach to their work, and that's why they're able to produce again and again and again. And it's very, very reliable. Like, you could expect the same things or something similar every time, because they have a fixed system, right? They have a reliable style approach to their work. If you were to tell this guy, oh, maybe you should ink your work, right? It's gonna slow them down, and number one, they probably don't want to do it anyway, so it's gonna ruin their flow. So yeah, again, the warmer tone is very obvious, but I guess they're friends now. I don't even know what's going on. And they have a leopard mask. I just like how they can show different shots. Like, they're very good at sequential art, like narrative types of stuff. And the anatomy, it helps, but they're not like too detailed with it. They sort of know the general look of something, but they're not too crazy about it. It's almost gestural. Like, if you look at the flows, again, check out Luna Doobles or Doobles. I think she has the same kind of vibe to her work. It's a bit like organic, curvy. It's not too like straight and super sculpted. It's more suggestive, very sort of gestural. Look at this guy. Look at how big his head. Like, you can feel like the energy, the emotion, even if you can't understand. What's Korean text here. You can just tell the intensity of what's happening by the exaggeration in these sketches. Again, it's these two characters. Look at, oh, lovely teeth. Like, even the insides of their mouths look pretty cool as well. And it's good to like study these sorts of things, because you will know or realize like shorthands. Like, you have like two sets of teeth, bottom, top, and then you have like a tongue, and then everything else is mostly like either shaded or just filled in with like black or something. And look at their brushwork. Aside from the round brush, they have that one texture brush, but that's it. And that's why they're able to produce a lot, keeping your tool sets, brushes simple and not using too much. It just saves you a lot more time. Wait, this seems kind of sad for some reason. Again, look at how you're able to still draw the character from this view, which is something that I struggle with, and many people struggle with. Like, how do you draw the same character but just smaller? I think it helps to learn how to do that. Like, how do you draw small people, right? To add some sense of scale, to add people in the background. And I think doing that helps you just learn more about, oh shit, girl versions of those two dudes. Now they're dudettes. Mommy. Short-haired. Look at that. Kind of hot. Powerful. And look at the anatomy. Is it so like deep or detailed? No, but it works. It works. Oh, now she's pissed. Look at that. Those eyebrows are so interesting. Is it a guy or a chick? Yeah, the pencil look with this kind of coloring, very loose kind of stuff. It just feels a lot looser, right? But it's not too messy, right? There's some cleanliness happening there. I mean, they do have to clean up the work so you can actually understand what's happening. But and look at how sometimes they draw over the same lines like twice or maybe 3 times. You know, it's gonna happen, and you don't have to like erase it. You can just leave it in. I mean, just look at this artist's work, right? If they can do it, so can you. Something is that a sword? And this guy at the bottom seems blinded by it. Some armpits, there you go. And again, look at the shorthand of how the teeth is done. Everything else is like a red sort of color. Some subsurface scattering here. You'll notice it's a bit more red in the edge between the light and the shadow, and you even see some oranges. Interesting. So the way you draw lips, first you draw like the mouth opening, and then you draw like this dash of line and make it a bit light to suggest like a lower lip. Okay, I like it. Look at the lines of like the hair, and look at the lines of the facial features. There's a size difference there. Interesting. So maybe they do sketch with like a big, or maybe they draw in like a thumbnail, and then they expand it, and then they draw over it again. Because I do see some like bigger strokes. Excuse me. Pencil strokes. And then above it, you have like darker but thinner pencil lines. So maybe that's it. Oh shit, let me just... Right? Cool freaking sketches. Look at that. So suggestion of lower lip, upper lip by just adding that dash thing. Or a dash of value. Again, look at these thicker sort of pencil lines a little bit. And then you have like the neck, like the darker, smaller contour lines. Yeah. And again, it gives you that, you know, variety. Again, if all you had was like one brush, and it was all the same like a width, your line work would look and I know, boring. So this is the piece I think we started with, I believe. Look at how this part is lighter than on the outside. It's usually the reverse, but maybe it's some underlighting. The light is hitting something below, bouncing into the bottom part of her, or the insides of her like hair. As you look at these hands, are they anatomically accurate? No, but they have some anatomical details, but it's almost gestural, like it's suggestive, right? And I think it's part of it's something you have to learn how to do to be, you know, to suggest things. And it just has to feel and look right. It doesn't have to be accurate, you know? If it feels right, then it's right. And I think that's something we ignored, because sometimes I think maybe it's just me, but I get a little bit too analytical about like the proportions and stuff like that, and I'm just losing the fuck it sort of mentality and just drawing whatever. I mean, look at this simple like sketch in the back. It's kind of loose, kind of, you know, suggestive, but you get it. You get it. So hot, by the way. Look at those blue eyes, black hair, cool earrings, long neck too. Some clavicle action there. Oh, wow. There you go. So I'll end the review here. I will link this page, by the way, in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.